this is Ray. I'm here today to talk to you about your hamstrings. The hamstrings are so important to our practice. They help us feel flexible and fluid in our practice. But for others, if your hamstrings are a little bit tight, then your practice might feel a bit rigid or less of that feeling of flow in your practice or ability to move through some postures with ease. So I wanted to show you today one very favorite, best way to stretch your hamstrings. I'll show you a couple other ones that are okay for stretching your hamstrings, and they're nice to do in your practice. But if you're really committed to getting more flexibility in your hamstrings, I'll show you that number one way in just a few moments. This is Ray. Have a nice day. We often do forward bends standing in our practice. We might do a forward bend like in Uttanasana. We might do a forward bend like in Parsvottanasana. We might do a wide-legged forward bend like in Padottanasana. These are nice ones to do when we're in our practice, but if we're really committed to stretching through the backs of the hamstrings, then we want to have a practice and a posture that we stretch in that doesn't allow our back to round. For example, in forward bending, I might be coming into this with a rounded spine, which is different than an arched spine or a lengthened spine. So there's many ways my back might change in relationship to my hamstrings, and they're all connected to this back chain of the body. I'll show you some on the ground now that will allow you to find a little more ease in those hamstrings and hopefully more flexibility. On the ground, we often stretch our hamstrings, seated or on our back. The seated position, we might take a strap around the legs, hug in the little belly, lean forward, and stretch through. We might round the back though as we're coming into that, or we might not get very far unless we bend the knees. So this forward bend, again, the back chain of the body is going to be part of this whole stretch. My back or my shoulders or my neck. A better option, and again, my very favorite option for stretching through the hamstrings in a very safe way, is to come onto your back. So now the back is neutral. Taking a strap around the bottom of the foot. And then from here, you can add in as much length through the back of the leg as you need. The back of the body from the trunk to the head is out of the stretch. I'm just stretching my hamstring. I'm not concerned about the back of my body. My back body is very comfortable and neutral, where I can isolate more into the hamstring. Another way I could work with this is to really find the belly of the hamstring, which is in the middle. Some of us stretch where we feel a pulling at the sit bone, an attachment, as well as behind the knee. We want to feel the stretch in the belly of the muscle. You can angle the leg slightly in a different direction to find those three hamstring muscles available for a stretch. So one way I like to stretch my hamstrings is against a wall. And this can allow you to find more ease in stretching. It can allow you to stay in the stretch for a longer period of time as well. My son, who's 10, he often does this stretch while reading a book. That's another option, I suppose, too. So you start on your back with your hips close to the wall. You don't need to touch the wall, but close enough that you can straighten your leg towards the wall. You can keep this knee bent, or you can let that leg go long. And then you can straighten that leg over time or move your hips closer to the wall to find a deeper stretch over time.